We often take immense pride in 2,000 rupees on a single purchase, yet that figure frequently represents a value created entirely by the seller rather than a reduction in cost. Take these two identical boxes. One lists a flat price of 2,000 rupees. The other lists that same 2,000 rupees, but positions it next to a crossed-out 4,999. In nearly every test case, shoppers gravitate toward the second option. The physical product remains the same, and the impact on your bank account is identical, yet the presence of that strike-through alters how we feel about the transaction. Curious behavior reveals a specific quirk of human cognition. We lack an internal compass for absolute value. We struggle to determine what a single object is worth in isolation. To decide if a price is fair, our brains look for the nearest available reference point. We are forced to rely on comparison to make sense of the numbers. While the crossed-out price is a visible tactic, retailers utilize a second, far more subtle method to manipulate our sense of history and value. This tendency to prioritize comparison over objective calculation creates a specific opening for retail strategy, a gap where our perception of a deal can be manufactured from thin air. This is known as anchoring. The first price you encounter for a specific item becomes your mental benchmark, the anchor against which all future prices for that product are measured. Once an anchor is established, the internal logic shifts. You stop assessing if the item is worth the asking price and start calculating how much you are winning relative to that first higher number. Brands often prepare for major festival sales by inflating prices weeks in advance. This creates a temporary high anchor that allows them to slash the price back down to its original level during the event. Looking at the price history, a steady baseline spikes sharply before a sale, then returns to that exact baseline, the appearance of a discount, but no mathematical saving. In fashion, the graph remains permanently flat beneath a fixed 40% off banner. When a product is perpetually on sale, the discounted rate is effectively the item's normal price. Beyond simple math, these tactics are designed to trigger a specific biological response, turning a price tag into a chemical event. Effective pricing strategies focus on fabricating a history where the item was once expensive, ensuring the current price feels like a hard-won victory for the shopper. This is fueled by loss aversion, the reality that we feel the pain of a loss twice as strongly as the joy of an equivalent gain. We fear losing out on a perceived deal more than we fear the depletion of our savings. Securing a fake discount triggers a dopamine response in the brain. It provides the immediate reward of a win, masking the fact that money is still leaving your pocket. While you might try to slow down and analyze these numbers, online platforms use specific interface designs to ensure you lack the time for a rational assessment. E-commerce sites use high-pressure cues like ticking clocks, low stock warnings, and stacked rewards to speed up the transaction. These elements multiply and pulse, drawing your attention from the product, focusing you entirely on the fear of missing out. As the sense of urgency increases, the brain's ability to perform logical, comparative reasoning decreases. The faster we feel we must act, the less we think. The modern digital checkout functions as an engine for urgency, prioritizing immediate action over a calm assessment of value. The entire ecosystem of artificial discounts is built to prevent us from pausing to consider what a product is actually worth in absolute terms. You can break this cycle by ignoring the saving and verifying the history. Use tracking tools to find the average price of the item over the last 6 months and compare that across different platforms. Implementing a 24-hour rule for any purchase allows the urgency and the dopamine high to subside, bringing the prefrontal cortex back into the decision-making process. To shift from relative thinking to absolute thinking, ask yourself, would I be willing to pay this exact price if there were no sale tags and no original price shown? Disciplined shoppers look past the marketing framing. They buy value, not the win of a discount. Real savings rarely come from finding a deeper discount. They come from recognizing the psychological framework used to encourage spending and deciding to step away from the transaction entirely.